On behalf of TIE Mumbai, we thank you for joining us today and hope that all of you are staying safe. We would like to thank WazirX for the partnership in arranging this workshop. Watch out for more details on the email post our session. Before going too far into the matter of why digital assets are attracting so much interest, it makes sense to first get the fundamental understanding of what Bitcoins, blockchain, and cryptocurrencies are. To know more on this, I would like to invite our subject expert, Pareen Lathia, who is the AVP Marketing at WazirX. He has been a trader and a writer in the crypto space, having written on publications like the Economic Times and CoinCrunch. He invests in crypto startups. He has been an entrepreneur in the software and hospitality sectors earlier and is very active on the social media to answer all your ask me anything type of questions. So over to you, Pareen.
Thank you, Trupti, and thank you, TIE Mumbai, for helping us organize this. As a part of our investor education initiative, we've been talking to a lot of people because cryptocurrencies essentially is a very, very complex topic. And to learn cryptocurrencies, ideally, we should look at cryptocurrencies from all of these lenses. So there's a steep learning curve. Why is this curve specifically for cryptocurrencies? Because you can look at cryptocurrencies from an economic lens or a political lens or from a game theory perspective. And there is just so much to learn and understand because it is also at an intersection of markets and technology, right? Usually we look at stocks and that's markets, or we look at, let's say, IT startups and that's technology. Cryptocurrencies are at an intersection of both. And today, what we are going to do is look at it from an economic perspective, from a wealth perspective and an investment perspective. I want to keep the session interactive. So what we are going to do is you can post all your questions in the chat. We have over 150 people today. We cannot get everyone on video. So please keep posting your questions in the chat section. I may not answer it immediately, but I will take it up eventually and as and when it falls in the flow of the session. First question, and I'm also going to ask a lot of questions as we go along because I want to understand where everyone is and what level of understanding we are starting off with. So first question that I usually start with is to understand cryptocurrencies, we have to open our minds. Usually we start with asking folks, what do you think is money, right? This is a very, very fundamental question that we never ask. When we say money, everyone usually thinks INR, USD. I want to know what everyone here thinks money is. Anything that comes to your mind, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you say money? Okay, so we have answers coming in. Commodity, value of exchange between buyer and seller, exchange of value, money is exchange of value. Sachin Agarwal says purchasing power, transaction, medium of exchange, store of value, all technical terms. Lot of technical terms. Today, one of the things that we are going to do is break these technical terms, right? Essentially, what is money, right? I'm working, let's say, for a salary or for a profit or for a dividend, any kind of work that I do yields some kind of a return, right? What do I do with that? I want to park it. I want to save it in something we call, rightly called by someone here in the chat, store of value. So today, when we look at money, we are going to look at it with a very, very wide lens and say anything where I can store my value eventually automatically becomes money, right? Oh, some very interesting answers here. Tax-free currency. I don't know, Soumya, why you think money is tax-free. First thing that comes with money is tax. That's a given. Wealth, yes. Instrument for exchanging things, great. Barter system. Government promised value paper, yes. These are the most common answers that I get when I ask this. Money is paper, legal tender, asset, or simplest definition of money is, can I pay for my child with my money? If I can, that's money, right? But to sum it up, money essentially is purchasing power. Let's say I tell you, okay, today I will give all of you $1 million. That sounds like a great deal, right? For nothing, you're getting $1 million. But I also say that with this $1 million today, you can only buy a child. That's That's about it. That's the purchasing power of $1 million. Would that be valuable? No, right? So most of us are in the race of adding zeros to our portfolio, right? We want our portfolio graph to go up like this. But what happens when that graph goes up, but your purchasing power keeps going down all the time? That is the scenario that we are looking at today. And that is why we are talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general, right? Uh, just to give a background of money, we have to understand what makes money, right? Our ancestors have already experimented with various kind of objects as money. We have a documented history of 5,000 years of how money works, and we've tried out all of these things, but we don't use any of them today, right? We don't use even gold today as money. Why? These are the reasons. Why don't we use that? Partly, of course, I can't store it for 20 years. Pebbles, if you use pebbles as money, of course, anyone can go and create an unlimited supply of pebbles. Similarly, if we are dealing in cows and buffaloes as money, I can't give you half a cow, right? It's not divisible. Copper was used as money in ancient Venice, and they used to have huge copper plates that they used to carry around. It's not very convenient, portable, right? And gold, one of the biggest reasons why we don't use gold as money is because if I want to pay you in gold today, I have to get some third party to test the purity, to test the weight, and then I can give it to you. It's not very transferable. These are the 6 main properties needed for anything to become money. If you talk to any economist, they will say these 3 words. A lot of you addressed this already, but we do not know when we say medium of exchange, what do we really mean? Medium of exchange is anything that is portable and transferable. We need it to be a unit of accounting. Today, INR, USD is all unit of accounting. Why? It is divisible, right? And of course, it has to be durable. I can't have my 500 rupee note rot in 1 month. Then it won't be a great store of value, right? And of course, there has to be a limited supply, which is scarcity, right? These are the fundamental things that make money. Now, when we look at the 5,000-year history of money, only one object has been uh, proven to be a great form of money. Anyone care to guess what that is? What is it that has been with human beings for the last 5,000 years? And a reliable store of value even today. Sachin is right. Gold, not coin, definitely religion. That's funny and accurate, but no, a religion is not form of money. It's a form of power, definitely maybe, but gold. So why don't we use gold anymore? What happened? Let's look at last 200 years. Okay, now in the last 200 years, what has happened is we went from what we call classical gold standard to the gold standard and then to the fiat model. Right? What do these stages mean? About 150 years ago, if you take US dollar note, the note said, I promise to pay the bearer equal amount in gold. Right? That is the classical gold standard. I could actually take that note with me to a bank branch, and the bank was supposed to give me gold. Does this happen today? Do you think this can happen today? Not at all, right? Because what happened is in the first half of 19th century, US government and most governments across the world said, okay, this is too risky, logistics cost, let's not store gold with people. Let's take their gold, we will store gold for you, and we will issue paper notes equivalent to the gold that we have, right? When this happened, people were very happy. It's convenient. You just carry paper around with you, and it means something. But in 1971, the crazy American President Richard Nixon ended up abolishing the gold standard. Uh, Now, at this point, I want to take a poll. We have almost 200 people with us. I want to take a poll and see how many people think uh, today our currency, whether it is US dollar or INR, is backed by gold. Yes or no? What do you think? Sachin, Sachin has done background research. The Unknown Planet has done background research. I know for sure. I can see that. Uh, Everyone's saying no. Someone, Kanchan Paralkar says yes. Okay, great. Keshurai says yes. Rajmanan Raghavan says yes. Nitin Bhatia says yes. Shri Krish is asking, saying absolutely no. Okay. Uh, INR is backed by gold. Ashish Kumar is saying. Let me break it to you. Sorry, INR or USD is not backed by gold. And these figures are on RBI website. At this point in time, I want to show you a chart that will clarify what has happened after 1971. This is the chart. Now, if you plot any asset, any global asset on a 100-year chart, this is the pattern that you will find. Take it up and try that exercise out. I've just, in the interest of time, I'm just going to go through gold very quickly. First half of the century, relatively stable value of gold. Something happened here. I have not marked this year, but everyone can see what it is. This is 1971. What happens to gold's value after 1971? It's always going up. Gold in the long term, when I say long term, I mean decades, never goes down. Absolutely never goes down. Uh, and this is true of most assets, right? Uh, yeah, I think people started talking about Bretton Woods, and that's a great thing to read. Okay, we are not on Bretton Woods anymore. Uh, People have started talking about currency printing. There are fancy words for these things called quantitative easing, liquidity injection, and tens of tons. But this is what is happening. Now, this is a chart from RBI website. You can go and you can check this out. This is the money supply, M3, all of circulating money in India in last 30 odd years. How does this chart look? Is it great? Is it scary? Now, I have to tell you here, everyone, uh, these charts are available online, so you don't need to see the exact amount in the chart, but of course, you see the trend here, what's happening. We are just talking about larger trends. I'm not going full screen because the details just don't matter. Uh, if you go on RBI website and check out M3, which is money supply in the economy, uh, last 5 years, Indian government has been printing 25% more currency every year. So the money supply is growing by 25% per year. Now, most of my friends are pretty happy with a 15% to 20% return on their stock markets, and they consider that riskiest asset. Most of their wealth is still in real estate, which is probably zero, negative, or very less yield right now. FDs about 7 to 9%, 9.5% as of now. What's happening to our purchasing power today? All of us is just going down. Today, if I think I want to buy this house 30 years later and I have this particular savings strategy that's giving me 15, 20% return, that sounds amazing. But my purchasing power is going to go down significantly. I will never be able to buy that house that I wanted to buy 30 years later. That is the issue that we are trying to address on an individual level. When any kind of a civilization uh, starts debasing their money, right? That is the correct word. A lot of people are writing inflation. That's amazing. Mahesh, Rajesh, all of you have written inflation, but inflation takes time to kick in. Today, if I inject liquidity in the economy, it doesn't reflect immediately. It takes a lot of years to kick in, right? And that's why we don't see it today. We don't feel it today. But in the next few decades, that's going to happen again. On an individual level, this is what is happening. But on a civilization level, every time a country or a civilization debases their currency of public demand present, uh, this is what it is. Doesn't make too much of a difference. Whenever an economy is based on what we call easy money, today we can print as much INR as needed. US can print as much US dollar as needed. When civilizations come to this, you will see what happens since 1971. Top 5 percentile of the economy, wealthiest top 5 percentile, their income keeps going up. This is real family income. This is American data. I don't have Indian data for this, but this applies to every economy, and we can actually feel that, right? Top 5 percentile, ironically marked in gold. Top 10 percentile marked in silver, and all of us, middle class, upper middle class, lower middle class, and the poor, uh, are here in these lines. What's happening here? Why is it that the rich keeps getting richer? This is a hot topic these days, right? Income inequality, wealth inequality. Why does this happen? Why is the top 5 percentile getting richer and richer, and all of us, unless Tata Ambani is in these 209 people, all of us are basically stagnant, right? We are in this rat race, running around, not being able to really do things. Ruben, I expected this answer. Insider information, because they own assets that keep growing, cause money makes money, information asymmetry. uh, Amazing. These are the common answers that I get from investor groups, from MBAs, everyone. That's so not true. Let me tell you why this exists. Is because of the way this money is distributed. When you create new money in the economy, it's not like it's distributed evenly to everyone. How is it distributed? The money is created by the central bank, Federal Reserve or RBI, whatever it is. Then they give it to banks. What are banks supposed to do with this money? They're supposed to lend it to businesses. What are businesses supposed to do with this money? They're supposed to employ people, create jobs, and pay dividends to their shareholders. And that is short version of what people call trickle down economics, that you start from the banks and then it has to trickle down to the poorest of poor. There is no data to support this. But any of us thinks that this happens. How much of the money trickles down? It doesn't trickle down. In real life, it doesn't trickle down. In theory, trickle down economics looks amazing, but it just doesn't happen, right? We have a big unemployment problem. US has a big unemployment problem. So these people are not getting the extra money that's being injected in the economy. That is why we see billionaires and we see slums in the same vicinity, right? That's what's happening. And this is not a problem that only India is facing. This is a problem that everyone's facing, including US. The homelessness, unemployment is at all-time high, and it's not just because of the pandemic, right? This money is not flowing uh, to the poorest of poor. To solve this particular problem, to take control uh, from the monetary policy, so to speak, that looks after this creation of money and circulation of money, an anonymous entity. We don't know who this is, guy, girl, group of people, created something called Bitcoin. Bitcoin was invented in 2009. I'm going to explain this very quickly and go into trading because we are not going to talk about technology per se today. Bitcoin's biggest feature is its limited supply. There will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin in existence. Bitcoin, as we all have heard about, is decentralized. What it means is it is peer-to-peer, right? Uh, Today, when I send money from my Google Pay or my ICICI bank account to you, there are at least two counterparties or third parties involved in this transaction. In Bitcoin, there is no one party involved. Bitcoin transactions are processed by millions of people like you and me across the globe, who are called miners and nodes, right? So these transactions are encrypted and then processed by these miners and nodes. I'm not going to get into mining because that's a technical subject, but essentially it is global in nature. And Bitcoin's feature is that its transactions are immutable. Today, let's say I swipe credit card on Amazon, I can always ask for a refund. Why? Because essentially, my paying Amazon this money is just a ledger entry on some bank server or on MasterCard server or on Visa server. What Bitcoin does is Bitcoin takes this ledger and it decentralizes it. So essentially, Bitcoin is just a large ledger of every transaction that has happened on the network since 2009. And these transactions are protected by these miners, right? And that's why they cannot be reversed under any circumstances, right? That's how it is. If I give you my gold and you take it to your home, now I have no way of claiming it back, right? It's sort of a bearer instrument if you want to look at it from that lens. Quickly getting into the trading aspect before I start taking questions. In order to understand Bitcoin or crypto trading, we have to understand the market cycles. We are going to look at Bitcoin versus altcoin. So Bitcoin is the genesis of entire industry that we see here. It controls almost 60 to 70% of market share, which is in trillions of dollars today. And a lot of people saw this as a great innovation for decentralization. They took the code, they modified the code and created their own currency, which have various use cases. So today it's very easy for anyone to create their own currency and then apply it to a particular industry or to a particular use case. So all other cryptocurrencies essentially are trying to solve different use cases, and they are called altcoins. Today, when I am starting here, I have to give this disclaimer: trading in cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin is highly risky, right? When you move from equities to stock market, it's maybe 10 times riskier. When you move from stock market to Bitcoin, it's 10 times as riskier. And when you move from Bitcoin to any other coin, which is altcoin, it's 10 times more riskier. So that's the risk profile that we are looking at here. Now, let us quickly get into the market cycles. I think most of us have invested somewhere or the other, stocks, property, somewhere. We look at the trend, right? How is the price going? This is how Bitcoin chart looks. Absolutely no one looks at Bitcoin chart on a 10-year timeline. Look at that. How do you trade this chart? It just doesn't make any sense. This could go to zero, this could go 10 times tomorrow. Right? There is no sense, there is no analysis that you can do on this chart. But we do not trade on this chart. We trade on logarithmic chart. So this is the same Bitcoin price in a log form. Now this makes sense to us. These are the blue boxes that you see here. Okay, go full screen again. The blue boxes that you see here are the Bitcoin market cycles where there is a possibility of making money. Bitcoin essentially has a 4-year market cycle, 2.5 years of bear market or 3 years of bear market, and 1 or 1.5 year of bull market. So this is what you can see here. All of these blue boxes are bull markets. You can see the price going up exponentially, right? And today we are in a bull run. Our bull run started from the last all-time high, which is 19,500. And this is based on something called stock to flow model. Now, if you look at stock to flow model, you will see that it is able to predict Bitcoin's price almost like clockwork, right? Let me open up the stock to flow model here. This is a live chart that we are looking at here. This is Bitcoin's price today, right? That is where we are. close to $40,000. I'm not sure where it is, but this starts from 2011, and it follows this line like clockwork. Because we are human beings, we like to speculate. That's why we end up overbuying, overestimating the price, and then it crashes. That's why we have a bull market and a bear market. Today is a bull market. Next year or sometime next year, we are going to enter a bear market. You have to understand where you are in the market cycle to understand what you want to trade, how you want to trade. This is the fundamental of all markets. At the risk of sounding crazy, I have to say that there is no other coin that has clear fundamentals like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's fundamentals are really clear, right? Stock to flow model has been applied to gold for hundreds of years now, and it works like clockwork as well. Same is being applied to Bitcoin, and it works. That is why they call Bitcoin uh, the digital gold. I think Srini is talking about Plan B's modified stock to flow model. We will not get into that. That's maybe a little tad bit more complicated than this. This is the simplest model that you can find, and it still works, right? Now we talked about Bitcoin. What happens here is mostly when my friends ask, "Hey, what should I buy? Crypto is great. Can I make money?" Say yes, buy Bitcoin and hold it for 5 years, and definitely you will make a ton of money because Bitcoin is a deflationary asset. Its supply keeps reducing every 4 years, and when supply reduces, demand stays the same, price automatically goes up, right? This is what we see every 4 years, and it works like clockwork. But most of us are too greedy. We don't stick to tried and tested stuff because we think 30 lakh, 40 lakh Bitcoin is too expensive. That is what I thought when I saw Bitcoin at 2 lakh rupees. And most people, I know people who bought Bitcoin at $10 in India, and when it went to $200, they are like, oh, shit, this is too much. This is too expensive, right? That's how Bitcoin works. It goes exponentially when it starts. That's the kind of rally that we expect. But most of us are still greedy. That's why we get questions like Sanya is asking Ethereum versus Bitcoin, and someone with an iPhone is asking about Doge. We started getting coins already, right? That's why we get into altcoins because they seem way more lucrative, right? I don't think Bitcoin can go, let's say, 10 times now. So I want to invest in a smaller coin. That's not true at all. Altcoins, there is absolutely no way of predicting a price. Altcoins also have market cycles, but their price is not independent of Bitcoin, right? So this is a very old chart. If you can see, the coin is called Matic. It was 24 rupees when I took this screenshot, which was in February, right? March. We can see March price here. Don't even dare looking at the price today. You will go crazy. How could someone have predicted that this would go at least 10 times from this price, right? I'm not sure what Matic's INR price is. The only way to trade in altcoins is to look at their Bitcoin price, right? If you visit any exchange, whether it's WazirX or Binance or any exchange, you will see every altcoin's price in INR, USDT, and Bitcoin. The Bitcoin price is where you can make some sense of charts. You can do some technical analysis and you can trade. So that's the overview of how to trade this market. These are the two most important things that I've just told you. Also, you've got to look at cryptocurrencies as their use case, right? How does a cryptocurrency become valuable? Depends on their use case. Whenever you look at cryptocurrencies, look at it from these four angles. Securities, you don't hear a lot about securities, which essentially means taking a stock and making a cryptocurrency out of it. That's not legal in India, so we don't see it often. Utilities is similar to your Starbucks points or GoHabibo points, where you can use this cryptocurrency, but only in a particular ecosystem. Third type, most popular assets, Bitcoin falls under that. A lot of tokens that are trying to be Bitcoin fall under that. And of course, the fourth category called stable coins, which is essentially USDT or any coin that is backed, or at least its price is supposed to stay stable compared to USD's price. So that's the fundamental of how to look at, uh, altcoins in terms of their categories. I will quickly run through some myths and break them, and then take questions and answers. Legality, all of this is completely legal as long as you buy from a good KYC exchange, you report your earnings and pay tax on it. There is a myth Bitcoin is expensive. A lot of people will come to you and say, oh, Bitcoin is already done. My coin is going to be the next Bitcoin. That's bullshit. That's never going to happen. Do not buy smaller coins. You can buy Bitcoin for as low as 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees. You will get 0.000 something Bitcoin. That's okay because your gains are always in percentage. They do not depend on how much you own. You may own 1 million XRP and you may hold one Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin has fundamentals, Bitcoin is going to go up, and other coins we just don't know, right? So just because a coin is cheap doesn't mean it's better than Bitcoin or you should buy it. Ideally, every beginner should just start with Bitcoin and for a while stick with it unless you understand how to check other prices. Uh, Third myth, it is speculation. Yes, there is a lot of speculation in the market. That doesn't mean there are no fundamentals. Bitcoin's fundamentals are rock solid, and a lot of other tokens, as they develop their use cases, they will have fundamentals as well. The market is pretty nascent right now. Why price keeps going up all the time? If you look at any 4-year time frame, 5-year time frame, no one who is invested and just sit tight, they have not made a loss. Why? Because Bitcoin essentially is deflationary. Its supply keeps reducing. There is a prominent myth where they say blockchain is great, but Bitcoin, no, this is illegal. This is used for illegal purposes. That's so not true. Uh, Blockchain doesn't function without cryptocurrencies. Okay, it's like saying I have a great car, but I don't want the engine. Like that's how you should think of it. There are tons of articles on this. If someone is selling you blockchain and says, "Oh, there is no cryptocurrency in it," they are selling you a car without an engine. Go and read about it. There is a myth that says Bitcoin cannot be traced. That's so not true. In fact, it is opposite. Bitcoin is completely traceable because all the transactions are in that ledger. If you buy Bitcoin, do some shady transactions with that, or don't pay taxes on that. Today, tomorrow, next year, 5 years later, someday government is going to be knocking on your door because it is highly, highly traceable, right? Uh, yes. So Jatin is saying chain analysis. Chain analysis is another way of tracking fundamentals, but that's not meant for beginners. So I will not recommend anyone taking a trading decision based on chain analysis. You require a lot of experience, understanding to get into chain analysis and then uh, get into Bitcoin. One question that's relevant here, Keshurai is asking, will CBDC kill Bitcoin? That's like saying just because there is rupee, gold doesn't exist. CBDC is digital INR. Digital INR will coexist with digital gold, which is Bitcoin, just like INR and gold have existed throughout humanity, right? Uh, what about matrix marketing in cryptocurrency? I don't know, Soumya, what does this mean? If this is a cryptocurrency, stay away from it. Uh, Now, biggest question that I get is how much to invest. I will answer this last and start taking questions. Please post your questions here. I saw RBI, great. I will answer that very quickly as well. So how much to invest? If you are a new trader, ideally start with 1 to 5% of your portfolio. If you are a conservative trader, start with 1%. If you are someone young who wants to take a lot of risk, 5% of your complete portfolio. Okay, that is what people recommend. This is not my recommendation. Large funds, Wall Street fund managers, that is how they allocate in crypto. And start with Bitcoin. Okay, do not get into something else. Okay, time for questions. I think we are almost 40 minutes through. I've answered the initial questions. Uh, Jatin is saying, can we be entering an accelerated bear market? I don't think so, Jatin. There are various other indicators, including chain analysis, that show that we are still in the bull market. So that's my belief. Arpit says, how is altcoin more riskier? Altcoin has various risks, biggest of them being that they are centralized as of now. Most altcoins have a founder, CEO, company, something that can just shut off the entire blockchain. With Bitcoin, there's no such thing existing. No one can shut off Bitcoin, right? So that's the thing. Uh, Ethereum versus Bitcoin, Sania. Ethereum is trying to address a completely different problem. When in the bull market, all the time we hear that Ethereum is going to kill Bitcoin, this is going to kill Bitcoin, that is going to kill Bitcoin. Never happens, never going to happen. Ethereum has to create its own market and survive off it, which it is doing in a nice way. So do not compare coins like this. That would be like saying, uh, investing in a software company or investing in, let's say, a bank stock. Right? These are completely different use cases that we are talking about. Nagarajan is asking, what happens when governments and or regulators ban or begin regulating them? Central bank digital currencies become more prevalent. Okay, central bank digital currencies, no conflict with cryptocurrencies. They will coexist. Doesn't matter. Digital INR will still be fiat. Okay, its supply will still be controlled by a few people sitting in some office. So you have to understand that. What happens when governments start regulating or banning? I don't think ban is such a big possibility now. Our finance minister has said on TV that they are going to take a calibrated approach. It will not be a blanket ban. Just for everyone's information, no developed country in the world has banned crypto. Everyone has accepted crypto. It's completely legal in US, Canada, Japan, Singapore, most of Europe, Australia, all of these countries. It's completely legal to buy, hold, trade crypto, right? As long as you pay taxes and stuff, that goes without saying. Do not do shady deals with crypto. Uh, what happens when they start regulating it? It's great. We want regulation. Industry wants positive regulation because we do not want scammers to come and scam investors. We want investor protection. Uh, when regulation comes in, this industry is just going to grow. So that's a very positive sign, right? Uh, Whoever is working with this iPhone asking about Dodge, stay away from meme coins. Meme coins have no fundamentals. Dodge has one wallet where I think more than 60% is stored. When that person decides to dump their Dogecoin, everyone is going to cry. Do not get into Dogecoin. You can make money in Doge or any other meme coin that TikTokers promote usually. But of course, you can make money gambling. I could go to a casino and once in a while I can get lucky. Does that mean I want to gamble? If you're investing in meme coins, you are gambling. Sanya, again, hash graph versus Bitcoin. There is no way any coin has versus Bitcoin. Bitcoin is there. Okay, hash graph has a CEO. What happens when the CEO leaves the company? It goes away. Right? There is nothing as decentralized as Bitcoin. I cannot emphasize this enough. Why do you want to get into hash graph? Because there is a potential or a promise of more return than Bitcoin. But don't get into more return of Bitcoin if you do not understand what hash graph is and what Bitcoin is. These have no common uh, ground to be compared, right? Hash graph is a great project, but you have to spend a lot of time understanding blockchain and its underlying technology to even understand what hash graph does, right? Otherwise, I could sell you bullshit coin and the website will look great. You will end up buying that. Gaurav is asking which is the best app to buy Bitcoin in India. Of course, I'm biased. I am from WazirX. I am going to say WazirX, no doubt about that. But yeah, we also do 70% of India's volume. So that says a lot. Apart from that, you can go and check out a lot of comparison sites where they compare exchanges and stuff. You can ask people around and then take an informed decision which exchange to go and buy. A caveat here is don't go to an exchange which doesn't do KYC, which has shady practices, which doesn't pay GST and stuff, right? There are a lot of smaller exchanges that attract new crowd. They do not follow any legal proceedings. So stick with one of the top exchanges. That is my advice. You. Sania is saying stable coin is a digital currency glorified in a party dress. Yes, that's true. Most stable coins have been a centralized repository and very, very shady. But today we do not have any option. I hope that there is a nice decentralized stable coin in the future and we will see that being adopted way more. Right. Jitendra is asking, not understood why fundamentals are not strong. I think Jitendra, you're talking about altcoins, right? Altcoins just do not have any fundamentals today. It's just a promise. Today, Ethereum, for example, there is no app that you can use on Ethereum, right? Ethereum is supposed to be this blockchain for decentralized apps. None of the apps are usable because if a million people start using it, the fees on Ethereum blockchain skyrocket to like $30-40 at a time. So it has a scalability challenge that it will have to solve in order to fulfill its promise. Once it solves that, then people will start making apps, using apps. As more users join in, we will be able to see, okay, these many transactions on the network. Today, all of transactions are just trading. Trading is not a use case for Ethereum per se, right? Uh, I answered already, I think 51 new messages. Let me try and be as fast as possible. We have 15 minutes left. RBI has cautioned investors and then revoked that caution, right? So that's an amazing thing because Supreme Court already said that cryptocurrency trading and holding is legal. Of course, caution is important. I stand by RBI jokes apart when they say that users should be aware because this is a highly volatile market. New traders have lost a lot of money. People who bought in March, April, May, they've lost a lot of money unless you are holding. Please do not sell that. Whatever you are holding, except it is meme coin. But people can lose a ton of money in bear market. Uh, Altcoins lose 97% of their value. So if you invested 1 lakh rupees, your portfolio will be 3,000 rupees. Imagine waking up to that. That will be crazy, right? So that's another reason why altcoins are so risky. Mm. Prabhakar is asking, what about crypto on gains from cryptocurrency? So this is considered business income and you pay taxes on that. There are various use cases of that. Uh, there are enough videos on YouTube which say how to pay taxes on crypto in India. And you can check them out or consult one of the CAs who understands crypto, right? And then pay your taxes, but you have to pay these taxes. Uh, Sachin is asking, is the limited supply of 21 million enough to support the entire gamut of transactions across the globe? So, okay, interesting thing. Like we have rupee and paise, right? We have Bitcoin and Satoshis. One rupee has 100 paise, one Bitcoin has 100 million Satoshis in it. So in future, when Bitcoin becomes like $500,000, $1 million, no one will be able to afford one Bitcoin, right? But we will all be trading in Satoshis. So I will say today, I think 10 Satoshis is 1 rupee or something like that. I'm not sure of the exchange rate, right? But we will say, okay, I will give you 1,000 Satoshis. That's how we will trade because 21 million is definitely not enough for the whole world, 7 billion people. Right? The math is crazy out here. Anish is asking something very relevant. We are at TIE, so we have to talk about startups as well, right? How can entrepreneurs start businesses that take advantage of blockchain technology? First, stop using this word blockchain. Okay, anyone approaches a crypto investor and says, "I'm building on blockchain. I'm building on blockchain." Like, you are full of bullshit. Either you are bullshitting me, or either you don't know what you're talking about, right? What you're talking about is starting a crypto business. Identify uh, an area, okay, which has inefficiencies due to lack of transparency, right? So let's say insurance, there is hardly any transparency. Uh, Today, I could put all of insurance on smart contracts on Ethereum and execute it. That's a great use case for founders to start crypto businesses. One of the crypto businesses from India just got $10 billion of market cap. $10 billion. Nowhere in the news. Absolutely nowhere in the news. This is called Polygon. They are solving a critical problem on Ethereum blockchain. This company is 3 years old or 2.5 years old. This is the kind of scale that entrepreneurs can achieve on crypto because you have a global market. Polygon, started by IIT Bombay kids, is being used by the whole world, right? That is the magic of crypto because it is global. So if you are an entrepreneur trying to start a business, first you are trying to start a crypto business. Okay. Second thing is that this crypto business, identify an industry or a vertical where there is lack of transparency, okay, and there is lack of collaboration due to transparency, like supply chain or something similar to that. Lot of use cases that are coming up now, right? Mahesh is asking, can we withdraw in WazirX? Of course, you can withdraw in WazirX, right? IGX is asking, which alternative coin has gold as underlying asset? That's an interesting thing. Recently, I did an interview with product manager of Pax Gold. Pax Gold is one of the coins that has gained popularity recently. They have launched a cryptocurrency that's backed by actual gold, audited in London, and you get a unique number of the gold bar that you own when you buy Pax Gold token. So that token is as valuable as gold, right? These are interesting use cases that are just being launched. Whew, Soumya, again, Bitcoin versus Binance Coin. There is no versus. Binance Coin is one of the ETH killers. So you will see Bitcoin killers, you will see ETH killers. A lot of people trying to kill these large projects. Binance Coin is one of the ETH killers. It's owned by Binance, which is the largest exchange in the world. And they've launched their own blockchain, and that has some advantages over Ethereum. You will have to read about that. But Bitcoin versus Binance, just question doesn't arrive. Saurav is asking, I have a few questions. We have, I think, 5 minutes left. Probably I'll have to shut by 5:55, but I'll take as many questions as possible. I see questions increasing, but anyone has more questions that I haven't answered, my DMs are open. I think Trupti already posted my LinkedIn and Twitter. So if I miss your question, please DM me if you have any questions. I have some resources that I can send across, and I think Ty is going to send an email. We can send across some resources that will help you gain a foundation. What I've just given you all is just a very, very simple overview so that you are not misguided by something or someone on Twitter or Telegram somewhere, right? But there is a lot to go. It takes years to understand how this market works. So get hold of these resources and start learning. Someone is asking a really crazy question. I am interested in investing in ICO market. ICO market doesn't exist. It was a scam that ran in 2017-18. No one does ICOs anymore, right? So stay away. If someone is selling you an ICO, stay away. This is a great thing. How do you evaluate altcoin projects? First, you understand Bitcoin. Then you understand how blockchain works, consensus mechanisms, use cases. Then you go to an altcoin, read its white paper, go to their Telegram community, watch some videos by their founders about how their project is going to help any industry that they are working in. And that's the fundamental analysis that you do. There in the white paper, there will be a lot of numbers like you see on a balance sheet. And that's how you analyze, but it takes a lot of practice. Okay, so it's not as easy as analyzing a stock market. Why are WazirX charges high? Arbit is asking. WazirX just charges a flat fee for deposit and withdrawal. These are standard charges across Indian exchanges. So what are smart contracts? That's a 1 hour session in itself. Now Harsh is asking what are smart contracts. You can check out on YouTube a lot of videos. RBI has put some restrictions. Sunil Godse is asking, sorry, no restrictions by RBI. Everything is okay right now. Srini is asking, WazirX has deposit issues. Yes, banks have withdrawn their payment gateways because there was a confusion. Now RBI has issued a positive circular. We hope that it will be fixed. This is an industry-wide issue. It's not just WazirX. How does one make first investment in Bitcoin? Hemant is asking. Download WazirX app, sign up. There is a section called Quick Buy and Buy. Just make sure that you do not invest a lot of money. Invest only what you can afford to lose. Okay, it is still high risk market. I think there are a ton of questions now. 88 more. Okay, Initiative Q, scam, Picoin, scam, stay away, Dogecoin, no future, Shiba Inu, no future. I'm going to go rapid fire on these coins that I see here. Matic, great coin, but already quite high in terms of trading. Be very careful. NFTs is another session altogether. Minimum quantity of Bitcoin. There is no minimum quantity of Bitcoin. I think you can go ahead and buy as low as 100 rupees worth of Bitcoin, but usually like 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees is okay, right? If you have to back any other cryptocurrency apart from BTC, which one would it be? This would be like giving coin recommendations for trading. So I cannot do that. But one of my favorite projects is a virtual reality project called Decentraland. You go and check it out. Decentraland is doing phenomenal work. Shiba Inu, stay away. BNB and WRX exchange tokens, can't comment too much on them. Everyone is saying bull cycle is going to end in the year. Is it going to happen? Track the stock to flow model, Moreshwar Kanoje. Track stock to flow model. Do not listen to anyone. Elon Musk, forget about jokes. No time for jokes now. I think we are done. SIP in WazirX possible? Not really. Cardano, great project, but I'm not sure if you should trade in that still. Right. Awesome. I think we are great. Vikas has asked the question I want to answer, which is crypto versus gold. No, Bitcoin versus gold. If you Google Bitcoin versus gold, you will find a ton of information. That's a great rabbit hole to get lost into. Thank you. I think questions will keep coming in.
I think we need another, an hour or maybe two, looking at the way the questions are rolling in still.
Yeah.
So Pareen, probably I'll take that up offline of the next session. And I've already got so many requests for the next sessions, and a few people have sent across questions, which we will take separately. Just a quick shout out to WazirX for helping us put this together. And they have been kind enough to share a sign up link. Please use it and sign up and make lots of money is what I will say.
Learn a lot, learn a lot, and then money will come.
We will also be announcing the second round of a session, probably on the 25th is when we will schedule that. More details. Raj, I have sent the sign up link over here in the chat, as well as a follow-up mail you will get with regards to the same.
Awesome. Thank you.
Any parting remarks from Pareen for the entrepreneurs as well as from the investor side of yourself towards the startups that are wanting to get into this?
As an entrepreneur, I think there is so much opportunity for crypto startups. I've been working with crypto startups, investing in some of the crypto startups, and in India we have almost 150 crypto startups now. A lot of people may not know that. And most of these startups have already raised a couple of $1 million through their token, which is a great way of funding. And if you are an entrepreneur looking at any space, just Google how crypto is going to affect this space, because crypto is going to change all the industries, whether you're working in pharma, whether you're working in real estate, whether you're working in any sector, crypto is going to affect it. So if you are an early adopter in your own space and as an entrepreneur innovating, That would be amazing. We need 15-20 billion dollar startups in India from crypto space. So I think we are going to see that, and lot of the audience here are entrepreneurs. So I would encourage everyone to do that.
Same here. We'll back that opinion of yours. And I think look forward to the next session, Pareen, with you.
Thank you.
This was a very relaxing session from a moderator perspective because you did all the work. I like that.
Thank you.
And would like to thank you from being a part of the Time Mumbai community as well. You have been a member with us for a very, very long time. And I hope we interact more way forward.
Hope to see everyone again, and thank you, Trupti, and the Time Mumbai team for organizing this.
Thank you so much, Pareen, for your time. And guys, just small information, we will be sending across the details of the coming up sessions. Please register, and also the sign up link will follow after this session. We will try and put the recording of the session by tomorrow or maybe a day later, but you can watch if you have missed anything. And write to us in case if you have any queries or any requests. We'll be happy to oblige. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pareen.